So, how do you make the average national pay of welding? So, the average national pay of mobile welding or doing welding or fabrication, it ranges from $65 an hour to $125 an hour. That's the national range between the nation. That's pretty much what you get. Some might be a little bit more, depends on how custom of it is, but hourly is 65 to 125 an hour to do some welding or some type of fabrication. And this is in small shops, like you're doing fabrication in your shop. You have a certain charge, depends on what type of consumables you're using, what type of gas you're using, what type of metal you're using if you're supplying the metal. Um, I noticed when I was in the field doing work for other companies, they had bare minimums too, where they charge at least a 2 to 4 hour minimum. And most of them charge at least a 4 hour minimum, where they say, you know what, it ain't even worth our time. So it might be 75 an hour, but it's at a 4 hour minimum. You know what I mean? Or it might be $125 an hour max at 4 hour minimum for them to come out to bring all their stuff out. You know what I mean? So I have heard companies say through certain businesses I work for, oh, we don't use them that much because they just so don't cost us as much. You know what I mean? So sometimes certain companies, once you brand out or go public or start getting, stocks or whatever, it can mess up the business up. And then sometimes it's good to stay mom and pop or whatever, stay LLC, stay big enough where you can still actually control your business when you starting out independently. But I think that it's wise to gain a few things. Like in order for you to get that, you're gonna either have to have a some type of form of a fabrication shop or garage, or you're gonna have to have a welding rig or some type of welding setup you can put in the back of your truck or your car. I have seen welders pull up in a car with a nice TIG MIG stick machine in the trunk, everything he needed to line out the fabrication. He go in there, had his generator in the trunk, went in there and did it, came back. I think it was actually, I'm gonna say it wasn't a car, it was a SUV. But he pulled up, did his job, jumped off, and got on down. So I think, you can't limit how you start, but you have to invest in some equipment. And I would say, this is just from my personal opinion, starting out doing this, don't buy things new. Buy everything used, because, that way you can actually start making some finances and you can start investing in the business and paying off some bills, and then you can still work it, because a lot of stuff used, you can get years of good work. My first welder was used. I got a steal on it. I think I paid $1,800 for a 305 Lincoln welder, and I got a lot of money out there welder. Man, I mean, it worked good for me. I mean, we got a chance to really do some things. So you can't knock how you got to start. Now, everybody have a different credit line. Some people want to jump into the pipeline strictly to get the pipeline duly rig set up. And to me personally, that's more costly way to start your mobile welding to me, because then you're gonna have to go in debt. Is what it is. I don't know too many of them dudes that's riding in them trucks that just went out there and just, hey, let me cash you out 150,000, 100,000, 50,000, 75,000 on this truck. Nah, most of them use credit, so you're gonna instantly go in debt to get the truck. Then you're gonna have to probably do a couple things to it, maybe lift it, maybe put some tires, maybe, what I mean, if you don't buy it like that already. And then you got to get the rig. Most of the pipeline welding rigs, most of them start out at 10,000, 10 to 12,000. So it depends on what you want to do. Me personally, I like multi processors because I'm a fabricator. I like to fabricate and install. So having a rig like that doesn't really benefit me. It'll put me in a box. Then I can only get this one type of money. You know what I mean? But if I got a multi processor, and I can still have a dually, but if I have a four-wheel drive and it's beefed up like I need it, I can still go on and off road and get money. So I can still make that national average of $65 to $125 an hour. So it all depends on how you look at it and what type of image you want to jump into. People, I see certain welders, like no lie, I remember a iron worker welder when I was at my last job in Arkansas. I was working for a steel company, and I was the lead welder. And I remember this welder that we got. I'll never forget this guy, this white guy, man. He wanted to be a pipeliner. Like, he dressed like a pipeliner. He had the pancake hood like a pipeliner. He was trying to fix up a truck, you know what I mean? But he doing structural welds. And I watched his welds, because I weld, you know what I mean? So I'm looking at his welds. They wasn't terrible, but he wasn't ready yet. But he had the image that, man, I need to be this. So I don't know if he's a pipeliner now. Probably he didn't got better over time. But I would just remember how people are so sold out with images. Like, he was claiming an iron worker, but looking like a pipeliner. I just thought that was fun. I had to share that because it just popped in my mind. But I remember, how he approached it. So I just think that we have to think about how we want to get into it. You know, how you want to enter the game, how you want to. Um, do you want to make money, or do you want to have an image? I like to say that because sometimes we chase an image and without chasing the money. And then sometimes we chase the money and then we don't invest in our image to keep making money, because I feel once you get the bag, you got to invest in your business. You want your business to look good. Like, I have drove down Midwest City and Oklahoma City, and I have seen different businesses on different sides so far. And I have noticed the black businesses. I have noticed the white businesses. And I have noticed that a lot of the African American black businesses are not kept up on the outside as nice as some of the white businesses. But some of them, I say not all of them, but I see some of blacks that was nice, but on a majority scale, it wasn't prepared with the image. So sometimes, if you want to attract a certain thing, you got to keep yourself up. You got to throw money back into the business once you make money. Just don't have a nice car parked upside a shitty looking building. You know what I'm saying? When you could make your building look, oh, I own it, forget it, just come in. Nah, man, make your stuff look good too. You know what I mean? So I think that is all about, investing in everything that you do, investing in your image, investing in your equipment, but you got to have a balance. You got to know when to do what. You see what I'm saying? Because if you don't, I think it will it will cause you to fall off balance. Like, you'll end up going one strong way, or the other. So just figure out what type of field you want to go into this independent welding, because like I say, you got many options, but just don't put yourself in a box. Because if you put yourself in a box, I think you limit the money you can make and the places you can go and the things you can do. So just be open minded with what you're doing, and just think like, okay, I want to start this way, and start working your way up from there. But the national average is $65 to $125. How to make it? You got to start investing in yourself, and you got to have your certs. So I would say get AWS certified, because you can go nationally. Some people say you got to get certified in each state, and some states require you to get a little test, just to have it in their state. They do. But if you get AWS certified, you certified it well anywhere. And sometimes you don't tell your left hand what your right hand doing, but you want to have your certs, and you want to have your OSHA. You get your OSHA 10, you get your AWS and your 3G, um, 3G and or 6G, or 3G, 4G, and 6G, whichever, however you want to do it, but at least 3G and 4G or 6G to cover it all. Get your OSHA 10 at least. That's all you need. Then you get your insurance if you plan on doing contract jobs. Starting out, depends on what you're doing. Your insurance can range anywhere from, I'm gonna say, 12 to 1800. Depends on what you're doing. If you're not strictly iron working, so you're doing, independent work, you can have some decent insurance. And this is not monthly; that's a year. You can pay it monthly. They can break it down. You can pay it every 6 months, or you can pay it yearly. But that's not a lot of money. You know what I mean? So just think of these little amounts. I did a video the other day that said it takes 10,000. 10,000 is a good start. Once I got everything together, that's pretty much what I had to get things rolling, but I pieced it together. So it depends on how you want to do it, if you got the money. But that's buying things used. That wasn't a quote of buying things new. So if you're buying things new, it's going to be a little different. You know what I mean? The price is going to be up. Like I said, you're going to start off in debt. I'm trying to get you to start out without going in debt. So I'm saying, buy used trucks, buy used welding equipment, only buy the things new that's needed. I think that's how you'll make that national average.